Two KDF soldiers who died in last month's Elade ambush were buried in Kakamega today. Private Stephen Angelina, whose story we first highlighted when he went missing in action last month, was laid to rest in his Shinyalu home, and Corporal Martin Mbitsi, who had served KDF for 12 years. Earlier this week, Private Omari Olacho was also buried in the same county. Dorcas Wangira attended the burials and filed this report.
"29-year-old Private Stephen Angelina paid the ultimate price for his country at Elade, Somalia, and for his last respects, the 21-gun salute, a customary military honor. On the 19th of January, when we first visited his home in Shinyalu, Kakamega, Stephen had been missing in action, his family deeply distressed. The information availed through the DOD and barracks in Eldoret was scanty. His mother and fiancé were keeping hope alive.
Kwa ndege nikaona tunaona Steve pengine atashuka hako, nikaona hashuki. Steve siaoneko, sianihurumia tu mimi.
Tunaamini we have so many wenye wamepotelea msituni na sijui kama wanasaidiwa, but I know he's there. Sidhani kama amekufa.
A phone call 4 days later would clear the cloud of uncertainty hanging above their home. His mother was called to Nairobi to give a DNA sample to compare with his fingerprints. Thereafter, his father Ephraim Njere would be called to the Memorial Hospital to identify his son. He tells us that he was cancelled before he identified the body, and at the time that had lapsed before the call from the army officials had killed their hope.
The time taken made us the hope to die, because it was too long. So you're asking yourself if they're in the forest, are they still surviving? They told me, you are going to see your child in the mortuary, so we are preparing you. I told them, on this planet Earth, you hope for the best, but you prepare for the worst. And in my prayer, I told God, I want you to give me two things. You give me my child when he's alive, I'll rejoice. You give me my child when he's dead, I'll rejoice. And that's exactly what God did.
The account given to them was that Stephen was felled by a single gunshot. His face was disfigured when they received his body. Stephen had no other desire but joining the army, and any outcome could have been expected.
We are very painful for the death of our brother. Our brother died bitterly. I asked the president generously to remove our KDF from Somalia. Msichana mdogo alisema, nilimuuliza nani amelala pale, akasema huyo ni Steve na amekufa na ameungua. Kijana mkubwa naye akasema mimi sasa na jeshi nitakufa kama Steve.
As families continue to bury their sons, it is still unclear the exact number of KDF officers who died in the El Ade ambush. The family of Stephen Angelina has closure for their son, but they wonder how many more are still in anguish. This same day, Corporal Martin Mbitsi, who had served with KDF since 2003, was also laid to rest. Monday this week, Private Omari Olacho was buried in this county. Angelina's father is proud of his son. He has closure at least, and hopes that what he has mined from his own experience can encourage the parents of other fallen soldiers.
No, my son didn't die in vain. He died defending Kenya. He didn't die in vain.
Dorcas Wangira.
Now, trouble befell drug outlets in Eastlands area of Nairobi earlier today when the Kenya Pharmacist and Poisons Board raided some of the unregistered drug stores. The board swung into action upon realization that some of the outlets were operating and even selling drugs supposed to be distributed free of charge from public hospitals. 26 operators were arrested and will face charges in court on Monday next week. Nicholas Wambuana reports.
It was a showdown between the Kenya Pharmaceutical and Poisons Board and the illegal pharmacists today in Nairobi's Kayole Estate. The board had visited the area with a mission to close all unregistered drug stores, but word went round forcing owners of the outlets to abandon their shops to escape being arrested. Some even locked themselves up inside their shops.
The person here has locked himself inside one of the rooms in the chemist but we are going to seize the medicine because normally when the person is not legally allowed to practice, even the medicine he's handling, he or she's handling may not be okay. So we have taken some samples for further investigation and even analysis.
Not even this man operating from his pro box was spared by the impromptu visit. He was selling drugs just beside the road, unlicensed and unaware of the trouble coming his way. And just like the rest of the operators, the next stop for him would be the police station. The trend in which the illegal outlets are rising in the country and especially in the estates is worrying. The board knows that in the last 1 year, the illegal outlets have risen to about 10%.
But these people keep on shifting. What usually happens is that today we are in Kayore, we arrest them today, they'll cross down, they'll go and open in Dadora tomorrow. So it's not possible to track them because they keep on shifting from one region to the other.
These illegal outlets are confined in informal settlements.
Patients getting services from most of the outlets are forced to buy medicines that they are entitled to, free of charge by the government. For example, this particular medicine is meant for HIV/AIDS patients. They should get it from public hospitals for free. But here we find it plenty in the shelves for sale.
The time mtu anapatikana akiwa na virusi, akitoka test ya VCT, first anakuwa introduce kwa Septrin. Hii ndio dawa ya kwanza mtu anaanza kumeza. Na anapewa bure bila hata ndururu.
They are meant for public hospitals to assist needy patients and other Kenyans. Unfortunately, we are able to find them here, and as you can see here, they are labeled for meds clients only, not for sale, meaning they're supposed to be given for free in our health facilities.
As those found culpable are waiting to appear before the court on Monday this coming week, they will have to spend their weekend behind the bars to learn their lesson.
This is a clear indication of organized crime, whereby healthcare providers in government hospitals are colluding with unscrupulous dealers to smuggle these products into the market, and this is going to be investigated further. We've gotten our leads and the Directorate of Criminal Investigation. The charges that we are going to press are charges relating to illegal practitioners, whereby people are practicing the business of pharmacy when they are not qualified to do the same.
The board is sending a strong warning to all drug outlets in the country that the crackdown has not ended yet until the sector is clean for safety of unsuspecting Kenyans getting their services. As at last year, only 80,000 outlets were registered to operate as drug stores in the country. Nicholas Umbua, KTN News.
A group of women from Kariobangi and Korogosho slums have come together under the Twaweza initiative in a bid to improve their lives and those of young girls from poor families who are forced to engage in crime and prostitution to fend for their families. As Mashirima Kapombe now reports, they make mats, carpets, bags and shoes from waste collected from textile companies in Nairobi.
Members of Twaweza group at work in Kariobangi in Nairobi. All of them work tirelessly but happily.
Kwanza nilikuwa mwalimu. Baada ya kuwa mwalimu nikaona I'm not contented.
Nilikuwa nakaa home. Nilikuwa tunakaa tu idle, sikuwa na kitu ya kufanya.
The founder of the group, Linda Morgan, started it in 2010.
Msichana ambayo alipata mtoto akiwa miaka 9, which ilinishika roho sana, na nikaona she's too young kupata mtoto na ameacha shule na kuwa engaged pia kwa prostitution.
Wasichana hutumika kubeba silaha na pia hautumika kubeba vitu ambavyo zimeshaibwa. Sasa hao ndio uzichukua, wanazibeba na wanajua wakizibeba hakuna ile siku askari anaweza wasimamisha.
One side of the room is lined with strands of waste material from various textile companies in Nairobi. This is the raw material they use to make table mats, bathroom mats and carpets. This is the loom they use to create different designs of the carpets and mats.
Materials zenye tunatumia kwa carpets na mats mostly tunatoa kwa companies zile zinatengeneza t-shirts, so the leftovers then zenye wanapata wanaacha ndio tunaenda tuna collect at a given price, alafu tunakuja tuna streamline, tuna cut into the size you'd want to kulingana what are we making.
The mats are of different designs according to the taste of the target customer.
Doormat hiyo hata 3 hours 4 hours imeisha. Ya ukipata ile mat kubwa ya floor hiyo a day and a half 2 days it's done.
The women also make low-cost sanitary towels from part of their profits. This for girls who can't afford conventional ones. Depending on the volumes produced, they sometimes sell the sanitary towels to different schools in the area.
Wasichana walikuwa wanatumia zile reused pads na pia walikuwa wanatumia maybe blanketi, wengine manguo na wengine pia mattress. Kwa packet moja inakuanga 6 pads, so we sell it at 40 bob.
So
it's over 5 years since the group was founded and it now has 20 members, 5 of whom are men. They also make shoes, clothes and bags from waste material.
Per month mtu anaweza pata, the least anaweza pata ni 6,000.
Within the next 3 years, the group hopes to transform into a limited company so that they can create employment for more youth.
Youth kwanza waeze kuthink beyond na waanze kufikiria kwamba it's our time ya kuturn our lives and not kufikiria white collar jobs haziko. Kwa hivyo tufikirie kukuwa na kazi za mikono ambazo zitatuempower more na zinaweza tuletea mapato.
Twaweza initiative is not just a group recycling waste and making money while at it. This group gives girls and women an opportunity to grow their skills and avoid the temptation of getting into easy but risky ventures. Mashirima Kapombe, KTN News, Nairobi.
Now, after missing out on an earlier film on the journey of a young journalist, Dan Eldon, who was stoned to death in Somalia at the height of clan insurgency in the war-torn country, there were fears that Kenya was again going to miss out on a movie on the Westgate mall terror attack that will feature movie star Angelina Jolie. Swift interventions were made and now the movies will be shot locally. Our reporter Trix Singado sought to find out what it is about Kenya that is making filmmakers shy away.
Talk of movies based on the Westgate terror attack and the life of world-renowned archaeologist Richard Leakey being shot outside Kenya had tongues wagging and many outraged. For Kenyans, the story of Westgate is close to the hearts of many. This is why it is unthinkable to have the movie made into a film in another country. We sought to find out why investors in the film industry are shying away from this destination.
And South Africa is smart. What they've done is that they provide a subsidy for international filmmakers so that they give 20% of the budget. So assuming your film costs $10 million US, then $2 million US is paid by South African government.
Kenya and all its scenic beauty stands to offer some of the best sets for movie stars such as internationally acclaimed Meryl Streep. However, countries such as South Africa are giving Kenya a run for its money. Movies shot in Kenya, for example, Out of Africa and The Constant Gardener, have collectively earned 12 Oscars. This is more than any country on the continent.
You know, I also have killed a lion.
How many shots did you need?
I used my hands.
Oh.
This is more than any country in the continent. Aside from this, these movies captured the imagination of the world, sending tourist numbers through the roof.
Do not realize that when an international Hollywood film is shot in Kenya, so much comes with it. One is employment. A lot of crew and cast will be local. And other beneficiaries, for example, for caterers, hoteliers, getting a lot of money, and also international media attention.
The movie Africa will be directed by Hollywood starlet Angelina Jolie, starring her celebrity husband Brad Pitt. They will delve into Leakey's fight against poaching, a battle the country is still firmly engaged in to date. Such an endorsement will work in favor of the country as well as breathe new life into the fight against poaching. Trixie Ngado, KTN News, Nairobi.